we'll get rolling here. This is the United Travel Umpires kind of Atlanta preseason conference call here. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't thank everybody for a wonderful 2021. As I think I've said on social media before, probably the most challenging year that I've ever seen in terms of the coordination of umpires. From COVID to umpire shortages to more baseball games to seemingly more and more uh, on and off the field issues. And I think as a whole, on the whole, we did a great job everywhere with United, but especially in the Atlanta market in dealing with that. I mean, some of the accomplishments that all of you have had in 2021 was we really covered 5,000 games in Atlanta seamlessly with very few misses. As a group, we made donations to the Ronald McDonald House of Charities, the Pat Tillman Foundation, and Protect the Game. We're all very proud of some of the off the field stuff we do. On the field, we advanced umpires to work all over the country. Sometimes college baseball, high school baseball, other levels of baseball for some of the United brands as well as other assigners throughout the country. We we brought several people from I think varsity high school umpires to who in 2023 here 2022 will be working collegiate baseball. So we're all very proud of that. And in addition, I think probably more important than all of those things is we all had a huge success in enjoying our time with each other personally and professionally and creating professional growth, personal growth, and really being a family and a team. And we kind of did that through a positive culture, through always kind of finding a way to laugh when the times are hard, and probably in Atlanta more than anything, kind of what happens in that 20 by 20 area down there between the fields, where I'm sure many of you have had much better times there than you can talk about on the field. So I encourage you to continue to enjoy your time there and be a positive influence on our culture and on PBR and on each other. So for 2022 here, really kind of a continued focus on those things, continued focus on improvement, definitely a focus on recruiting more umpires, and bringing people into our family, into our group, to continue to evolve, continue to be better umpires, and continue our mission. I think one of the things that Todd and I talked about in the off season and also talked about with a lot of the other staff is just a commitment to having more people around to help. Todd a lot of times was was working all the time. And what we wanted to have was more of a balance there. So many of you have seen that, Brian will be around some to help, but more importantly, I think, Donnie and Ricky coming on board to really be a part of what's going on down there and to continue to provide feedback for umpires and provide support for umpires. We are really lucky to have the resources that we have. When you think about the size of our organization and the number of people that we have working in it and working towards success, that's rare. And I feel very lucky to have all of the people with us that are participating in that, and I think it kind of goes and runs downhill and helps all of us. And just one thing, kind of my last kind of statement here for moving into 2022 is I want to put a focus on handling situations effectively in 2022. I think we all are sensitive to kind of what's going on in the travel baseball world. And we encounter situations with parents and players and coaches, I think more and more. And every one of those situations that you encounter in 2022, I want you to think of it as an opportunity to show a supervisor that, you can handle a situation when it comes up. Don't necessarily always look at it as, oh man, I got to deal with this crap again. Look at it as an opportunity try to handle it effectively. And we're here to help you along the way. Make sure, number one, of course, you're safe, and our whole crew is safe. But number two, to look at, if that comes up again in 2022 or 2 years from now or 4 years from now, how can we deal with it better and how can we make it better for everybody? So that's kind of my point of emphasis there for 2022. I've worked a lot of places, college baseball, high school baseball, travel baseball. I've been an assigner a lot of places, and I've never gotten more support than we get from the PBR team and from the bullpen team, and the PBRT team. And I want to take a second to introduce Kyle Coletta here. Kyle's really the guy that runs the show in terms of operations in Atlanta at Lake Point. Many of you know him. Those of you that'll work for the first time will get to know him. And without further ado, I'll turn it over to him for a few comments for 2021 and moving into 2022.
Hey guys, so curveball here. It's actually Hudson that's hopping on.
Hey Hudson.
So yeah, Kyle lost his voice just about completely, so he had me hop on and talk to you guys for a few minutes. But yeah, Kyle, like you said, is he kind of runs the show. I'm kind of second man to him, and kind of taking over more stuff on the youth side, especially this year. But I will say, just going off what Alex said with opportunity and kind of him saying he's really enjoyed working with PBR. Same with United. With you guys, I kind of came on as an intern, I guess, right when PBR first got to Lake Point, which was not you guys at the beginning, and I kind of saw that firsthand, and I saw the difference that United made the second full year we had there, and it just Todd and everyone there, Donnie and Ricky and Alex, they all take a lot of pressures off us when it comes to dealing with issues and other things. And having, like you said, having support is the biggest thing, and having more guys step in for Todd here in the last few tournaments towards the end of 21 was a really big help on our end. Just having more people there for us is really the big thing. Because at the beginning we kind of showed face a lot at our tournaments, which is great. But at some point we have to not come out of the tower and not be down there as much, and you guys have done a great job kind of facilitating that and really keeping everything contained to the field and handling those situations. But I will say kind of for 2022, just a short, quick overview. It'll be Kyle and myself on staff. We got to get one more on-site supervisor that'll be helping us kind of full time, and then we'll have some interns here and there. But the spring starting in February, we'll have the few Sunday onlys, and then in March we'll pretty much be sold out all the way through the rest of the summer. So expect full days. We're trying to take away those 9:30s as much as we can, because we know those all can get rough for a lot of us. But we'll expect a full schedule starting kind of mid-March all the way up until the end of the summer. So other than that, just want to say again, we appreciate you guys, and bouncing off what Alex said with the opportunity, kind of handling those situations when they come. And that's something that I've learned is from each crazy thing that might happen on the field with coaches or off the field with parents, you can build off those and learn how to handle them differently each time. So I think if we all do that throughout the whole year, just build off those issues and learn how to handle them case by case, and keep building off of those, I think we'll have another successful 2022, even more successful than 2021 was. So anything else you want me to touch on, Alex, I can, but for the most part, that's all I got. And like I said, we look forward to 2022 and working with you guys again.
No, Hudson, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for jumping on. And that's a face that I'm sure all of you know well, and for those of you who haven't been around, we'll meet this year. And Hudson's always been a key part of the team there, and I'm sure even more in 2022. So thanks for joining us tonight, Hudson. We appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, for sure. Just shout if if you need me to fill in on anything else,
Yep.
nothing crazy happening this year. Kind of the same old schedule and same old thing. We move some stuff around. Will have a 13U national championship this summer, which is a little different than the past.
Yeah.
But other than that, the schedule wise, everything's looking the same.
Yeah, sounds great. We're looking forward to it, and I sound that 18U tournament is gone, I assume, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. And I will say we did take out 10U. So when it comes to the spring this year, it'll be 11 and 12s is the youngest on 50,
Mm.
70 dimension field. So that takes out that part of it. So there'll be no issues when it comes to that. Hopefully with the field dimensions and all that good stuff. So we'll be 11 through 14U all the way through Memorial Day, and then of course the high school will get rolling. And so
Yeah, sounds good. Well, we're looking forward to it, and like I said, thanks for jumping on, and thanks to Matt and Kyle and you and everybody who has been part of the team and will be part of the team moving forward. We appreciate it.
yes, sir. Yep, we appreciate you guys.
So moving on, I just and again, thanks Hudson. I want to introduce several people here on the United team. I think probably most are familiar, but moving into 2022, Todd Marler is going to assume the role of president for United Travel, which means he'll have a lot more role in kind of overseeing everything that we do, not only in Atlanta, but in our other sites, facilities, and all that kind of stuff. So I can't think of anybody that I would want in that position more than Todd at this point. Just such a great understanding of everything that we're trying to do, and a guy that from the time I met him, I can't think of anyone that I've clicked more with or had more of an understanding of what I'm trying to do and what we're all trying to do than Todd. So we're thrilled to have him there, and Brian will continue in his role as director of training, and then the three kind of new umpires or new staff members that we've brought on are people that are familiar probably to most. Donnie and Ricky certainly in the Atlanta market, and Ricky will be in Atlanta working as a site supervisor and an assigner, and Donnie's going to split some time, I think, between Atlanta and probably Indy in that same role. Both guys will be attempting to help everybody and help our whole situation and the improvement of the umpires and the overall team. And then Noble will come on board in a kind of a dual role. He's going to lead up, or is leading up currently, our recruitment effort, and then we'll be based in Indianapolis for the most part, working on trying to get some of our junior umpires up to speed and taking some pressure off of Witt up there. So we're excited to have all of those guys on board, and some other people that probably you'll get to know through the time here. Or Chris Marshall works with United Collegiate and carries over and crosses over to help us do some evaluations, and certainly on our clinic side. And then obviously many of you know Derek and Josh, kind of as the site supervisors and head honchos up in Indy and Kansas City. And then really the last two I would say are Danny Miller will be helping us a lot more at United Travel this year, trying to work more and more with video and creating a training package with Brian. Obviously, as things kind of open up more and more with COVID, we have the ability to have people travel more and collect more information and more digital media and get that out to you guys. And then lastly, I think most of you in Atlanta know Jim Jackson, the Division I regional evaluator for the NCAA, and lives up in Jasper and is always one to kind of come by and stop by and be a part of what we've got going on. So without further ado, I do want to introduce Nobu in his role as kind of head or lead recruiter, and give him a few minutes to talk about what our plan is and how all of you can help that plan. So Nobu, the floor is yours, bud.
Oh yeah, thanks, Alex. I appreciate the introduction. Yeah, to this point, a lot of you I already know, or I've corresponded with a lot of you, whether it's over on a call or an email, and I've really enjoyed kind of learning what everyone's goals are with umpiring, what they want to get out of it, and I've also enjoyed sharing how United can help that out. So I'll be as brief as possible. What I'm going to talk about for a second here isn't really news to anybody. If you're really paying attention to what's going on in the youth baseball circuit, the truth of the matter is that there are not enough umpires out there in the world to comfortably cover games in any market out there that they dictate. I think we all have at some point, including myself, have had to work more games in a day than we preferred to, and that really sucks. None of us want to go out on a baseball field with an energy that we don't want to be there. But the honest truth is, if you're on game number 6 of the day when you were only planning to work for that day, you find yourself in a situation where there are really no winners. So here at United Umpires, we want to be the driving force that changes that circumstance. We want to make our workplace a better staffed place so that we all are working games that we should be working, and that's both in quantity and quality. And honestly, I can put out 1 million social media posts or make 1,000 recruiting visits, but at the end of the day, the best recruiter of an umpire is another umpire. So that being said, I urge everyone on this call tonight to make an effort to find someone. Maybe they're already an umpire that they work elsewhere, or they've never umpired in their life and they know nothing about baseball. We could be talking about a 50-something-year-old retiree, or just a kid in high school that needs a summer job. To me, and I truly believe this, any person can be a great umpire if they're put in the right environment and they're willing to be coached. And I think what we have going on here with United Travel is that right environment for any umpire working towards any level. We have close supervision for guys that are just starting out, that'll walk them through the basics of umpiring. And for our more experienced guys, we have career support for guys that want to advance into college baseball and whatnot. The pipeline is set, and Todd can talk about the number of umpires that have started out working youth baseball for United, that now work in professional or college baseball. So I think we should all take an approach here that this is a team effort, and I hope that maybe at some point in the future, when there is no more national umpire shortage, we can all take a little bit of credit for it, because we were here with United leading the charge to do something about it. So if you come across anyone that might be interested in umpiring for United, my email is nobu, N-O-B-U, @unitedumpires.org. My cell is 347-665-8781. I'll leave all of that in the chat box, and have them reach out to me for them. And hopefully we can make umpiring a better place together. And yeah, on that note, Alex, Todd, I'll swing it back over to you guys.
Sounds good. Thanks, Nobu. I think I think Michael Barnes needs your attention in the chat. I think that one probably is right up your alley. So
Gotcha.
About new umpires. So Todd, do we have a video from Brian that I know Brian couldn't be with us tonight. I think he's on vacation.
I got it. I got it, Alex.
Cool. So Brian's got a few words for us that I think he pre-recorded.
Yep. Just a sec. It'd be great if I had this up. Just a sec. Bear with me for a minute, guys. Sorry about that. I need to get the right. Okay. There it is. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, wait.
There we go.
Yeah, just a sec here. All right. There you go. All right. Sorry about that, guys.
Hello, everyone. Brian DeBrouwer here, Director of Training for United Umpires. Let's talk about a couple of the training items that we're going to be focusing on this year. And let's start by directing you towards our virtual workshop videos. We are on week 5 of our virtual workshop, which has been a really outstanding opportunity to talk about a lot of the fundamentals that are going to help you to become the best umpire you can. Those videos are available on unitedumpires.org or the United Umpires YouTube channel. I would encourage everyone to go take a peek through each of those videos and try to find something that you can use to help guide you into the season with this awareness of a strong fundamental base. This year, we have some new staff on location. This is exciting from a training perspective because it's going to give us some additional eyes that we can use to help train umpires. Now, what I would encourage all of you as individual umpires to do is take ownership of your game and ask for specific feedback. Our sites have a lot of umpires at a given time, and our staff can be stretched thin. But when you can ask a specific question of one of our staff members, that's going to help them narrow their focus on what it is that you might be concerned about. So if you're working on your slot position or adjusting with the catcher or using the working area better or your footwork on steal plays, talk with our staff members on site at each location about those things before a weekend of games, and they'll go watch you with that in mind. Another thing that we're going to do on site is take a lot of video this year. And when you ask that specific question, we can take a video with that in mind and show you exactly what's going on with your game. The sites that do have the in-house cameras, make sure that you're notifying either me or the site reps about interesting plays with as much information about the play as you can. So what field you were on, what time the game was, when in the game it happened, and what exactly it is that we're looking for. That way we can grab that video and either talk about it with just you and your crew or use it as a training opportunity for everyone. So we're looking for interesting plays, mechanics, rules situations, anything that either you or we as the group as a whole might benefit from. Stay tuned to all the United social channels for upcoming clinic announcements for each of the sites. At this point, what I can say is that I will be on site at Lake Point on April 3rd. So my schedule during the season allows me to spend a Sunday with all of you at Lake Point on April 3rd. So if you're working that weekend, I look forward to seeing you. Have a great start to the year. Work on those fundamentals. Go see some pitches before the season starts. And have a good start to the season, everyone.
Thanks, Brian. I know Brian was on vacation here, so took some time and laid out some information for all of us. And he really will take an even bigger role this year in laying out our goals and our training, opportunities and really what we're trying to focus on. And I don't think we can ever really go wrong listening to Brian and having his ideas at the forefront of what we're doing in terms of training. So I'm going to roll into a little bit of bookkeeping, admin information here quickly, and then kind of move on and turn the program over to Todd. So 2022. So in the past, we have had a Google form that everybody that wanted to register to work for United used to go through filling out. Here's what I'll say about that. If you've ever filled out a Google form for us, so in 2021, if you filled out our Google form, you don't need to fill it out again. We will roll that form into 2022. If you are a new umpire to United for 2022, you will need to get in touch with Todd in Atlanta or Nobu kind of globally, and those two guys can direct you to the Google form. And Ricky and Donnie can do that as well. But anybody that's new, we will need to get some information from you to make sure that we're complying with tax laws and stuff like that, and also just so we have all your information and can get you loaded into Arbiter Sports. So for those of you that are new, we do use Arbiter Sports. Started with that in 2021. Moved away from referee schedule for a number of reasons, and I think kind of our staff and all the umpires have really thought that that's been a positive change for us. So we will continue with that. New for 2022. So we are going to move everything to Arbiter Pay in 2022. So we will be no more PayPal, no more direct deposit, no more any multiple payment methods. If you want to work, we need you to sign up for an Arbiter Pay account. I think a lot of you probably have one already. And I know that sometimes changes by geography. Certain places in the country, like, you would never think to not have one, and other places have never even heard of it. So, but I'll do a quick run through here. So for those of you who have Arbiter Pay, it's really simple. There's not really much of anything for you to do. But for those of you that don't, give me 1 second. Okay. So for those of you that don't, that need to get an Arbiter Pay account, you would go to arbiterpay.com. And on the right-hand side up here, there's sign up today. And you would basically go through a form here, very simple, very brief. I'm not going to take you through it because I don't want to get into that, but you would, be a sports official or event worker, and it would just take you through the fields here. And you can set up a number of different ways to get your money, whether that be a direct deposit from Arbiter Pay to your bank account. I think there's actually like a debit card you can get things transferred to, and you might even be able to get a check. So basically, this Arbiter Pay account acts as really a holding spot for your money. So when I pay you, money goes into your Arbiter Pay account, and depending on how you set that up is how you get the money out of that account. So I can control money getting from our account into your Arbiter Pay. How you all deal with getting money from Arbiter Pay to yourself is kind of on you. I know some of the options do have a fee, other options are free. So I'll let you kind of all work through how that is. If there is a fee for a transfer, it is quite minimal. So, but I think in terms of using this system, it will help us greatly. It allows better tracking for what games have been paid and not paid on a weekly, monthly, annual basis. And it will make the payroll situation, I think, easier on our end. And I believe also the 1099 situation a touch easier. So that's where we're going for 2022. So, and everybody must be on. So we're not going to do any PayPal anymore, or direct deposit for stuff at the complexes. Our pay week will stay the same. We'll still go from Monday to Sunday. So all of our payments from Monday through Sunday will then be paid on Monday morning, Monday afternoon, whatever it might be. And as you know, there's times where I'll send an email and say, hey, it's going to be Tuesday this week, or whatever it may be. But hoping that this kind of consistency will make everybody's life easier, including mine. So that is our situation for 2022. So again, remember, if you've registered with us before and have an Arbiter account with United Travel, you're good to go for 2022 on that form. We don't need you to fill it out again. If you're new, contact one of our representatives kind of in Atlanta or globally, meaning Todd, Nobu, Donnie, Ricky. And I'm sure if you get in touch with Derek and Josh somehow, they'll point you the right direction. But we do need that first time for the registration to be completed. So dues and registration fees. We are going to change how we do that a little bit this year. Registration fee for the year. We've made a little bit of a change, but I don't think there's much impact. And what we're trying to capture here is we have umpires all over the country that come to our facilities, Indianapolis being more of the destination for that. But we're trying to create a registration fee that is reflective of some of our umpires who stay with us for not as long as others. But we also kind of made a little bit of an error last week and probably penalized some of the umpires that are with us forever. So we don't want to do that either. So registration will be charged at $15 a week with a cap of $120. Now, with that first week you're at your facility, we will provide you with a United on-field cap. So not much difference here when you put that all together in terms of what we're collecting this year versus last year. And certainly the idea of having the hats on site, I think, makes everyone's life a lot easier. If we've been using a hat for 2 years, everybody's getting a new hat here. And we also create a situation where it's more friendly for people to come join us and help with the process of covering games, maybe for 1 week or two. So that's going to be our registration fee for the year. So that's where we are with that. We are going to go back to hats on site. We also are going to go back to the first hat is on us. So whether you work 1 weekend or 2 weekends or 20 weekends, whatever it is, that first hat will be on us as part of that first $10 payment. So that's where we are on the dues. For 2022, we do have some slight increase. Let me stop. Chris Britt, what if we want to pay our dues at once? Not available anymore. Okay, so you cannot pay your dues at once. It'll be by week for everybody. Part of what we're trying to do is create some ease of workload for everybody on our end, because our goal is to try to help you guys and gals and everybody on this become part of a better team and become better umpires. And if Todd or me or Nobu or Derek or whoever is stuck in a room doing payroll for 10 hours, we're not out on the field doing what we need to be doing. So the more we can streamline some of this stuff and still make it about the same financially, we feel like it's better for the whole program. So moving on to game fees, we do have some bumps here for 2022. The hour 45 time limits are up to 55, and our 2-hour time limits are up to 67. So those are the Atlanta numbers. These are Atlanta only. Those are going to be your game fees. Sorry, I'm reading Buck Green's comment here as I'm talking, and it's distracting me. So let me answer the question. There isn't a max, so it's going to be $10 a week over 110. That's where it's at for 2022. So in terms of registration fees, game fees, that is kind of the wrap for us here in 2022. I'm going to turn over to Donnie here for some information on or just kind of review of our hat and uniform standards. And thanks, Donnie. Here we go.
For you guys who don't know, my name is Donnie. Pleasure to meet everyone. As Alex said, the first hat is going to be free. It's on United. Any hats after that are going to be a $20 deduction, just taken straight out of your paycheck, kind of making it easier for everyone. At this point, everyone knows, or you should know, that the basic uniform, the black shirt, gray panels, or the blue shirt with the black panels, we got a match on the field, and I'm talking as collectively as a staff. It just gives everyone a better perception of who we are out there, makes us look a little bit more professional. clean and also clean. I mean, if you're working 4 or 5, 6 days a week, you should probably have a couple shirts, couple pants, and keep them in rotation. I mean, it just goes a long way with the perception of the parents, the coaches, the players, and also invest in new stuff. Personally, I get new shoes every year for the plate. Also, I get at least new pads for my mask. I try to take care of myself. I'm the product of myself. So if I eventually go down on the field, I'm not going to be able to work. So if you invest in stuff in the long run, you'll be beneficial. Those are just a couple of things I want to talk on about uniforms. I think Todd wants to talk about a couple of things here. Send it over to him.
Thanks, Donnie. Just real quick, guys, want to cover some communication stuff. Obviously we're going to communicate via email or phone calls. If you choose to call Ricky, myself, Alex, whoever, please leave us a detailed message. So we have an opportunity to be prepared when we call you back. And when I say a detailed message, that doesn't mean, hey, Ricky, this is Todd. Give me a call back at your convenience. There is no detail in that whatsoever. I need to know, hey, Ricky, this is Todd. I've got a problem on Tuesday, June 7th. I'm scheduled for 3 ball games. I can only work 2. Can you get back in touch with me as soon as possible? At that point, we can get back in touch with you and we can have an answer when we get back in touch with you. Really the only other big thing that I have is when we do go to get back in touch with you, when we call you, when we text you, please respond. You reached out to us. We're trying to get back in touch with you, so please respond. And then this is really a big one here. If for any reason you're directed by any of the PBR staff, let's just follow their instructions. Quick example, if we're on the field and we have an issue outside of the field and the PBR staff tells you they've got it under control, they've got it under control. Okay. We don't need to make a decision from the field if they have it under control. I myself am probably on the way, or our site person is on the way, and they're standing right there. Let them deal with the situation. Okay. So if they have some type of direction for you, please don't address them in a negative manner. They're working their rear ends off just like we are, to get everything done and for us to have a quality product on and off the field. I know they struggle at times to get us baseballs. We'll continue to work on that. And when we're on the field, if we can continue to, can I please get some more baseballs? And thank you for getting me the baseballs would be wonderful. So let's just not address anything negatively with the PBR staff. And if you got an issue, please feel free to call me, text, email me, or Ricky, or Donnie, Nobu, Alex, anyone, or talk to us while we're there. But let's just really focus on having a working relationship with them. And if you feel like something came from them that was an issue, then let me know, and then I can address it with them in a calm manner when you haven't been on the field for a couple hours and you're upset about something, or whatever. Let me deal with it, and that's what I'm there for. So with that, I'm going to let Ricky talk about some things, and then I will come back here later on.
Perfect. Thanks, Todd. The biggest things I want to discuss are just Arbiter. Let's start off with the basic things. If you can please put a picture The picture will help with a lot of the new guys. We don't know everybody. We do want to get to know everybody. Mostly with the staff coming in from out of town. That does help having your picture there. That's a big thing that we can just meet people a lot easier. Keep it updated. It's very hard, from we're having to make phone calls and to be able to go through situations. If we don't know your schedule, we're just not going to schedule you any games if you're blocked. So if you can just keep it updated, accept and decline your games. We understand sometimes that, we get a mess up with the schedule. If you're just able to accept and decline them as soon as possible, that helps our side of it. And then we're able to work on things like that. If there are any, like Todd said, any scheduling issues, contact us right away. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. And we'll do everything we can to rectify the situation so that we can, put in as many games as we can. We all want to, get here and do a good job, put a better product out there. But we just need to work together as a team. Other than that, guys, let's just have some fun this year. Thanks, Todd.
All right, just some housekeeping topics. Obviously, we've been at Lake Point for a few weeks with some scrimmage stuff with Georgia Highlands. So once the summer comes around and we go full time, yes, we are going to have the porta potty back there. I understand completely that that's not the greatest situation in the world, but that is the best one we have at this point. We've made some improvements to the locker room. Scott Boring and Ricky and a host of people have really worked their rear ends off on this and have built some individual lockers inside the locker room, plus some extra benches. I just ask you to be mindful of your space, keep your stuff in your locker, clean up after yourself. Same thing out in the parking lot, clean up after yourself. On the field, let's not leave our water bottles back behind home plate and have 14 of those. So, let's just be good citizens at Lake Point and continue to try and build the relationship with them. Really, I think at this point, I think we're pretty much there as far as being done. The only thing I want to say for me is thank you for everything that everyone did through 2021. I've made a lot of friendships, a lot of personal relationships with, most of y'all, and hope to continue to do that. But, I've gotten to where I hashtag everything, and I'm 53 years old. I probably shouldn't be saying hashtag, but I've gotten to where I hashtag everything as United Family. And, that's a real thing for me. That's, I spend a whole lot of time with most of y'all during, pretty much a 5 or 6, 7 month period of time. So I had a conversation with some people the other day, and they said, well, what are you looking for umpires? And I said, I'm really looking for somebody that I'm good with spending 8 hours a day with. I think we also need to be very aware of what our goals are as umpires as we come into this year. We have definitely had some umpires that have been very successful. I got to find out today, Frank called me today, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. He called me today and told me that, he was awarded the #1 returning student at Wendelstadt. Frank Jones has worked his butt off and knew what he wanted and had set goals and worked towards those. There are a lot of y'all on this call right now that set goals last year if you wanted to get into college baseball. And, we all did everything that we could do to help you get there. And some of you got there, some of you got maybe to a level that you weren't happy with this year, and hopefully we can continue to work on that moving forward. But just know that our whole staff is here to help and get you to where you want to go with your umpire goals. So Alex, I think I'm pretty much done. If you got anything.
No, I really don't. I want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. Big thanks to Jim Clayton, who probably sits through more of these Zooms than he really wants to, with our different organizations, kind of helping us on the tech end. So I really appreciate that. We're looking forward to a great year, at Lake Point but also with United in general. I know I'll see a bunch of you guys in Florida here for RustMat with United Collegiate. And I want to say thank you for taking the time. Thank you for your investment in United and in umpiring. We're looking forward to a great 2022. Good night, everybody.